All right. Good morning. This is Tech for Senior. It is January the 29th. I'm Ron Brown. I'll be your host today. This is Huey will be on deck next week. So this is episode 199, and next week will be 200. Huey, you got the 100, and I think you're getting the 200 as well. How'd you manage that?
I'm lucky.
All right. So anyway, we'll be moving into our 5th season. Now, for those of you who are in the show today and haven't seen our Thursday show, please remember that we do have a Thursday show this coming Thursday, and it is, of course, not a Zoom meeting. It is a broadcaster StreamYard, so it is either on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. You can log in there and listen to our show on Thursday. We have a heck of a lot of fun. We had a guest speaker, our guest last week, and we did have a lot. So it's a good time. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't seen it, please come to our Thursday show. We'll be starting the meeting a little earlier today because we have a whole bunch of interesting stuff to talk about. But one of the things that, and then don't forget, we have our premiere video that will be coming up at 1:30. And this week is, of course, Mike Ungerman will be finishing off with EV batteries, a popular one he did about a year ago. And Huey, of course, is going to talk about mastering Chat GPT. Oh, wow, that's great. I want to learn how to do that. This is going to be great. Thanks for doing that, Huey. And he also, by popular request, because we keep getting more and more requests about this, he's going to talk about finding anything using everything. Because every time we talk about that, someone says that is the best app I've ever used, and I use it every day. So we're going to play that again. So those are our 3 selections for our premiere video. Now I'm just going to play a little something for you here. I'm going to share the screen and we'll just play a little something for you. And you should subscribe to our newsletter, sponsored by the Glendora Seniors Computer Club, Geeks on Tour, and the Central Florida Computer Society. Sort of has a nice ring to it. We really do appreciate our sponsors who stepped up in our campaign month. Thank you so much. Huey and I also would like to thank everyone who has contributed and made this month so successful. This morning, Huey and I had a meeting and we're planning today's show. We thought about the last 4 years, and this has been the most successful January campaign we've had. And I guess that means that you like what we're doing and you want us to keep going. So on behalf of everybody at Tech for Senior, we want to thank all those people who have donated in this month. Now, I'm going to stop running these promotions for the rest of the year, but we will keep our donations page open, and you can contribute anytime through the year. Today, I'd like to thank everyone who's donated last week. The following are Timothy Ketgas, Diane Binder, Brian Pagniello, Ann Titus, Dennis Kakbabak, Detlef Adolf, I'm sorry, Detlef, it was spelled wrong in the newsletter, and the Central Florida Computer Society. Thank you so much, everyone, for all your contributions. And now, the problem is we have to produce for the year. You've said, go for it and do it. Well, now the hard work starts, and I don't think we're going to disappoint you. I can assure you everyone is going to make season 5 our best year ever. So tell your friends about us. Have them come along on the Monday show, watch our Thursday show, watch the videos, like and subscribe. You know all that. Let's make season 5 a great year. Now on with the show. All right, so there we are. I'm going to start the show early today. Bob, if you could get ready to go. Huey, is there any sort of comments that you wanted to make before we get the show going?
Nope, just glad to be here and trying to stay warm.
There you go. All right. I'm going to skip the introductions for our staff today because I really want to get moving quickly. Otherwise, we'll be here all day because we do have a big show for you. I'm excited about it. Bob, do you want to take it away?
Here is my security news roundup for the week ending January 20. Apple to Google and more. We've even seen companies inventing new terms altogether in a bid to avoid saying digital zoom or hybrid zoom. It looks like that hasn't changed with Samsung and the Galaxy S24 series either. Samsung claims during its Unpacked event that the new Galaxy S24 Ultra has a quad telecamera system. What? 4 zoom lenses? That's unprecedented. The same marketing term can be found on the official Galaxy S24 Ultra page on Samsung.com. You shouldn't believe the company's claim, however, even if the Ultra is poised to be one of the best camera phones of 2024. Read more at AndroidAuthority.com. Microsoft top execs' emails breached in sophisticated Russia-linked ATP attack. Microsoft on Friday revealed that it was the target of a nation-state attack on its corporate systems that resulted in the theft of emails and attachments from senior executives and other individuals in the company's cybersecurity and legal departments. The Windows maker attributed the attack to a Russian advanced persistent threat group it tracks as Midnight Blizzard, formerly Nobelium, which is also known as APT-29, Blue Bravo, Cloaked Ursa, Cozy Bear, and the Dukes. It further said that it immediately took steps to investigate, disrupt, and mitigate the malicious activity upon discovery on January 12, 2024. The campaign is estimated to have commenced in late November of 2023. Read more at thehackernews.com. CISA issues emergency directive to federal agencies on Ivanti zero-day exploits. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency on Friday issued an emergency directive urging federal civilian executive branch agencies to implement mitigations against 2 actively exploited zero-day flaws in Ivanti Connect Secure and Ivanti Policy Secure products. Successful exploitation of the vulnerabilities in these affected products allows a malicious threat actor to move laterally, perform data exfiltration, and establish persistent system access, resulting in full compromise of target information systems, the agency said. Ivanti, which is expected to release an update to address the flaw next week, has made available a temporary workaround through an XML file that can be imported into affected products to make necessary configuration changes. Read more at thehackernews.com. Experts warn of Mac OS backdoor hidden in pirated versions of popular software. Pirated applications targeting Apple Mac OS users have been observed containing a backdoor capable of granting attackers remote control of infected machines. These applications are being hosted on Chinese pirating websites in order to gain victims, Jamthreat Labs researchers said. The backdoor disk image DMG files, which have been modified to establish communications with actor-controlled infrastructure, include legitimate software like Navicat Premium, Ultra Edit, Final Shell, Secure CRT, and Microsoft Remote Desktop. Always download from official sources and sites. Read more at thehackernews.com. FTC bans in-market for selling precise user location without consent. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission is continuing to clamp down on data brokers by prohibiting in-market media from selling or licensing precise location data. The settlement is part of allegations that the Texas-based company did not inform or seek consent from consumers before using their location information for advertising and marketing purposes. In-market will also be prohibited from selling, licensing, transferring, or sharing any product or service that categorizes or targets consumers based on sensitive location data, the FTC said last week. Read more at thehackernews.com. loanDepot discloses that hackers breached personal data of 16 million customers. A ransomware attack against the mortgage lender slowed down the business for over a week. loanDepot first revealed it has fallen victim to attack on January 8th. The company took some IT systems offline, but it faced a slow recovery. Customers took to social media to complain payment issues, struggles to access their accounts, and even trouble closing deals on mortgages. About 2 weeks since loanDepot first came forward about the incident, systems like customer portals and other internal sites returned back online. The true aftermath of the attack is still coming to light. loanDepot did not provide additional comments or explain what types of sensitive information may have been revealed. If this is your bank, expect free credit monitoring to be offered. Read more at Engadget.com. Apple issues patch for critical 0-day in iPhones and Macs. Update now. Apple on Monday released security updates for iOS, iPadOS, macOS, tvOS, and Safari web browsers to address a 0-day flaw that has come under active exploitation in the wild. The issue, tracked as CVE 2024-23-222, is a type confusion bug in the WebKit browser engine that could be exploited by a threat actor to achieve arbitrary code execution when processing maliciously crafted web content. The tech giant said the problem was fixed with improved checks. Type confusion vulnerabilities in general could be weaponized to perform out-of-bounds memory access or lead to crash and arbitrary code execution. In a terse advisory, Apple acknowledged it's aware of a report that this issue may have been exploited, but did not share any other specifics about the nature of attacks or the threat actors leveraging the shortcoming. Read more at thehackernews.com. Mother of all breaches reveals 26 billion records. What we know so far. The supermassive leak contains data from numerous previous breaches, compromising an astounding 12 terabytes of information, spanning over a mind-blowing 26 billion records. The leak, which contains LinkedIn, Twitter, Weibo, Tencent, and other platforms' users' data, is almost certainly the largest ever discovered. There are data leaks, and then there is this. A supermassive mother of all breaches includes records from thousands of meticulously compiled and re-indexed leaks, breaches, and privately sold databases. Check to see if this affects you by following the link listed. Read more at cybernews.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. Identity Theft Awareness Week starts on January 29th. The information offered in the video can help you avoid becoming a victim. Additional reference material is also provided in the video show notes. Please watch my video on that topic by following the link listed. Did you know? The incredible 270-degree rotation of an owl's head is a necessity. Their eyes are tubular and cannot move side to side like ours can. So instead of moving their eyes, they move their entire head. Because pigs grow so quickly, 48 Yorkshire piglets were used during the filming of the 1995 movie Babe. Just thought you might want to know. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. thanks to Dolly Parton. Curiosity is the essence of human existence, thanks to Eugene Cernan. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks, Bob. This, of course, Bob will be back a little bit later. This is Identity Theft Awareness Week. And for those of you who read the news this morning with Taylor Swift, I'm sure you're going to, I'm sure Bob will be, she'll be hiring Bob shortly to manage her online presence. Anyway, Bob has more to talk about this a little bit later in the show. However, we are all excited to have Hewie. Where did Hewie go? Are you there? Hewie, I can't see you.
I'm here. My
Okay.
system kicked me out and brought me back in. So
Okay. Where'd you go? Anyway, we are going to talk all about creating a table in a spreadsheet. Can you enlighten us, Hewie?
I will. To get started, I'll go to an email that I received and highlight the address, and then do a Control-C to copy it. I'll just copy it. And then I am going to take just a text editor, which happens to be Notepad on my PC, and I will paste that in. So I've got the first email address that I'm going to use in my list. Note that I have the first name, the last name, and the email address all in one. If the address did not contain the first and last name, I could adjust that by typing in a last name or a first name, or separating the letters depending upon how it is in the email. I added more email names and addresses to the list, so I have plenty to work with in our sample for this demonstration. I could use any of the generative AI tools that I use, such as Microsoft's Copilot, Google's Bard, Claude, or Perplexity. However, we're going to use Chat GPT 3.5, the free version, in our sample. I'm going to type in the command that I want, is the prompt. Please take the following list and make it a table to be used in a spreadsheet. I want 3 columns, the first name, the last name, and the email address. I then will go out to my list and tell it to select all and copy it. Put that away, and right here, here's my list. The next thing I do is I click the up arrow to tell it to send it. It's now doing what I want it to do. And you'll see now I have first name, last name, and email list in a table format. We're going to take the list, we'll highlight all of the items in the table, and then we're going to copy it and then open up our spreadsheet. With Excel open, we're going to tell it we want a blank worksheet, and then right here at the top we can just right mouse click and say paste, and there's our list. Let's make that one that wide, and make that one, and we're widening each of the columns to fit the items that are there. And we might want to also come down and go up to format cells. I always like to do this, and then outline and have our lines. And there's our list in spreadsheet format. All we have to do is click outside of the highlighted area and it unhighlights it. One of the attendees in my Let's Talk AI meeting suggested that we concatenate the first and last names in another column. All you have to do is add another column with the first and last name. Let's try that. Not only did it do it, but it also gave the heading full name and created another column. We can then copy and paste that into our spreadsheet and use that as our final list, and then add to it as we get more names. We've highlighted the new table, and we just have to do a paste. Make it that, then take D, and we're widening each one, and then we have to go back and reset up the border for it. We now have our new list. What can we do with that list? Let's go ahead and just do a quick sort. We'll highlight from here to here. We're going to tell it we want to sort. We're going to do a custom sort. My data has headers, so it knows that the top line is the header, so it won't sort that. And then we're going to sort by last name and just say OK. We now have it in alphabetical order by last name. How to use AI for efficient email list organization. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
That's very interesting. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions about this. Again, we're going to defer the questions to till the end when our Q&A period. But well done, Hewie. Very interesting. All right. Now, this is, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Identity Theft Awareness Week. And I asked Bob to do a little talk about this, and he has a video to play. Go ahead, Bob.
Identity Theft Awareness Week, which starts today, is like a big, bright spotlight on the sneaky world of identity theft. It's a time when the folks at the Federal Trade Commission and other experts come together to share their knowledge on how to keep your personal info safe from the bad guys. Imagine your identity is like a treasure chest. Now there's a pirate out there who'd love to get their hands on your treasure. They could use it to pretend they're you and do things like open credit cards, take out loans, or even medical treatment, all in your name. Identity Theft Awareness Week is a crucial initiative that helps individuals understand the risk of identity theft and provide them with the tools and resources they need to protect themselves. Whether you're a student, a veteran, a small business owner, or an older adult, there's information and advice available to help you stay safe from identity theft. And I've got a little video to play for you, so let me start that up. Identity Theft Awareness Week 2024 starts on January 29th. The following information is offered to help you avoid becoming a victim. Just as there are people working to try to steal your identity for nefarious purposes, so too are there people working hard to prevent that theft. There are many reasons why identity theft has increased, but a major one is that there is so much personal information out there now about each of us. A cybercriminal can use a combination of your email, full name, birth date, address, and answers to security questions like your pet's name, your mom's birth name, your elementary school, etc. to steal your identity. And all that information is available online with just a little technical know-how. How to protect yourself from identity theft online It's a pretty scary prospect that can make the average person feel helpless. Here are 6 tips for protecting yourself from identity theft online. Number 1, don't overshare. Sharing the minute details of our lives online has become so common over the past decade that most of us don't even think about it anymore. But when you share lots of personal details about yourself, you're not just connecting with your community, you're also supplying a rich trove of information to cybercriminals to use if they want to steal your identity. Something as innocuous as your pet's name can be used to answer security questions, so consider making your social media profiles private to restrict access to that info. Number 2, download Avast Secure Identity. Avast Secure Identity is the latest offering from global cybersecurity and privacy company Avast. If you're interested, just follow the link listed. It protects you by constantly and continuously monitoring places like social media and the dark web to immediately identify if your personal and financial information have been leaked. When it finds something, Avast Secure Identity informs you immediately so you can act or engage our certified protection experts. Avast Secure Identity also offers credit report monitoring for one U.S. credit bureau, lost wallet protection, white glove restoration, and identity theft reimbursement up to $1 million. It quite literally protects you while you sleep, so you rest easy knowing you're safe. There are other products that offer similar protection, and you'll find that information at the link listed. Number 3, use strong authentication methods. Usually we say use strong passwords, but these days passwords just aren't enough. If you really want to protect yourself from identity theft online, the best way to do that is through multiple identity authentication methods, which is also called multi-factor authentication or sometimes two-factor authentication. Sometimes that means a strong password plus a strong PIN. Sometimes it's a biometric sign-in, like your face or fingerprint. Sometimes it's a pass key generated by a third party. Whichever method you choose, remember that each login should be unique, and if it's a password or PIN that you generate, hard to guess. Quite often, a good password manager, like Dashlane, can handle all of these MFA methods for you. If you're interested, please follow the link listed. And yes, I do get a bit of credit if you use that link. Thanks. Number 4, stay away from free Wi-Fi. Like most things free on the internet, free or public Wi-Fi can come at a price. While it's convenient to use, public Wi-Fi is, by its nature, open. That means anyone with the skill can hack into it and steal the information that's being sent over the network, including usernames, passwords, security question answers, birth dates, financial information, and much more. So if you absolutely have to use a free Wi-Fi network, just make sure to protect yourself with a virtual private network, VPN, like Avast's SecureLine VPN. If you're interested, just follow the link to learn more. For more info about VPNs and other VPN choices, just follow the link listed. Number 5, keep an eye on your bank statements. One of the best ways to spot identity theft before it gets out of control is simply periodically look at your bank statements and see if there's anything funky going on. If you find an unauthorized charge, report it at once to your financial institution so that they can shut down the avenue through which the cybercriminal drove in. Many financial institutions are also insured, so there's a decent chance you'll get your money back, especially if you catch the problem quickly. Number 6, educate yourself about phishing methods. Phishing is when cybercriminals use social engineering techniques to get you to give up your personal information willingly. That phishing email can look like it's coming from your boss, for example, and asking for an urgent document, or pretending to be a loved one in distress. Educating yourself about phishing methods so that you can spot them when they happen is a great step toward protecting yourself from identity theft. You'll find additional advice about preventing identity theft at the FTC website. Just follow the link listed. My thanks to Emma McGowan for her informative article which prompted this video. You'll find her article on the Avast blog at the link listed. Stay safe, stay secure, and remember that identity theft is a real and prevalent problem for pretty much everyone these days. With a little know-how and some technical tools to back you up, you can avoid becoming a victim. Bye-bye, and I'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Bob. Well done. This is, again, Identity Theft Awareness Week, and we should all be vigilant because this is going to be a big problem in 2024.
An
All right.
ongoing problem.
Pardon me?
It's an ongoing problem.
That's right. That's for sure. That's for sure. Thanks, Bob, for doing that. That was great. Thanks a lot. Now we're going to move on, and we're going to change to a different operating system. We're going to talk about the Mac OS. Now, Bob, we have changed the title slightly. Bill's going to talk about how to install and manage fonts. Interesting. Let's see what Bill has to say.
How to install and manage your fonts on Mac OS Sonoma. Use Mac Fonts Book to take charge of your font collection. Selecting appropriate typeface can have a substantial effect on the overall visual appeal and readability of your documents. Mac offers a treasure trove of fonts, allowing you to use a font for that happy birthday card that's different from the one you use for your job application. What fonts does Mac OS support? Mac OS Sonoma, which is the latest operating system, can handle many types of fonts like OpenType, Mac TrueType, Windows TrueType, bitmaps, and dfont. This is a change. Mac OS Kalina, the previous, did not support PostScript fonts. How to view your fonts in the Font Book. The Font Book app is your go-to tool for checking out fonts. You have adding new ones, organizing them into collections, and turning them on or off. Open it through the Applications folder or select Launchpad icon in your dock and find the Font Book icon. Font Book can show you fonts in different views. There's the grid view. In this view, each font shows as a thumbnail with a few characters. It's perfect for a quick glance at all your fonts. Sample view shows you each font in a full-width preview with the quick brown fox sentence example. You can't see many fonts at once, but it's great for checking out how each font looks in practice. The list view sorts your fonts into a list with fonts families in expandable sections similar to folders in Finder. Click Expand to or collapse them. Another way to switch between grid samples and list is by clicking the relevant icons on the toolbar. To check out a font or font family in more detail, double-click it. The font pops up in the main part of the window to change the size of your fonts when previewing them in the font book. Use the slider at the top with the minus and plus symbol on either side. Another way to switch between how to install a font. If a default system font within the font book is colored gray instead of black, it means the font isn't downloaded to your local machine. To fix that, right-click it and select Download. The font is automatically activated, so you don't need to worry about that. If you want to go beyond the default fonts included in the Mac OS, there are plenty of free font websites. To install a new font you've downloaded, double-click the font in Finder and the font book opens and shows you a preview. Click Install and you're all set, as you can see in this example. And then once you have it brought up, you just click Install and you're done. If you prefer installing a downloaded font from the font book, go to File, Add Fonts, or press the Command, the plus sign, and the numeric 0, and a window opens where you can choose the font you want to install or fonts. Once ready, click Open. Here's a tip. Avoid from overboard with font installation. Installing more fonts than you actually use can lead to a sluggish performance in certain apps and create an overwhelming font menu. If you want to install fonts for all users, you need to make a slight change, because by default, the font book installs new fonts just for your account. If you want all users on your Mac to have access to the fonts, go to Font Book, Settings, Installation, and then select the default install location menu and choose All Users. And then this setting will allow your fonts to be shared to everyone that uses your Mac. If you don't want to be, if you want to deactivate or remove a font, it's simple. Go to the font book, right-click on it, select Deactivate, and if you change your mind, you just repeat the steps by selecting Activate. Alternately, you can delete it entirely by selecting Remove. However, note that the font book won't let you deactivate or delete any fonts that the Mac OS system needs to operate, such as Arial, Times New Roman, and Avenir. If any of the fonts starts misbehaving, like displaying incorrect characters, you can validate them in the font book by just select Validate in the context menu. If you want to organize your fonts into a collection, you can do that by grouping the fonts, like if they share a common theme, style, or purpose. It allows you to easily access and manage these fonts. To create a font collection in the font book, you just go to File, New Collection, or right-click on the sidebar to choose New Collection. If the sidebar is not visible, you need to go to View, Show Sidebar. Then you can select the fonts you want to include in your collection, and you can choose from the existing collection if needed. To do that, click and drag to the highlighted multiple fonts, or use the Command key to select non-contiguous fonts. Then drag the fonts to the collection, or right-click and use the Add To menu. Then finally, you want to double-click the collection name to retitle it and make it easy for you to identify it later. If you want to remove the font from a collection, just go into the collection, right-click on the font you want to ditch, remove, select Remove, then click Remove Fonts to confirm. You can also organize the font book into virtual groups, and the fonts themselves remain in their original locations on your system. So even after removal from the collection, the font remains accessible in the font book and the fonts window. Managing your fonts is an essential skill. Just improve the design and readability of your improve the design and readability of your projects. Just remember not to go overboard when installing them. The references was ℍ𝕠𝕟 by Franz K. Calhini and the Font Book User Guide for Mac, Apple support for Mac OS Sonoma. And for those of you that need a refresher, Windows 11 versus Mac OS Sonoma, you can find personalization in fonts under personalization in Windows 11 with fonts. And you notice there's some similarities, and we'll talk about that at another time. How to install and manage your fonts on Mac OS.
Thanks, Bill. It's always amazing how you can manage two different operating systems. You do a really good job. Thanks so much for that.
No problem.
All right, we look forward to more on Mac OS. All right, moving on. I have a little something for everyone. Sort of talking a little bit about AI. I think you might enjoy this. Let me share my screen. How to speed up your information retrieval on YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about a Chrome extension called YouTube Summary with Chat GPT and Claude. I use this on a daily basis. Let me explain how it works. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and also help them retrieve information from YouTube on a more efficient basis. Let me tell you about a free Chrome extension that links in with your free version of Chat GPT. I use this on a daily basis, and it saves me a lot of time. Let me show you how it works. So let's say I wanted to make a video about the 5 best smartwatches to monitor your health. I create the video and I rank the watches 1 to 5. I could even take each watch and add timestamps that would take you to that correct section in my video to watch. But again, then you won't watch my video, and the whole goal of YouTube is to get you to watch the video. So this is where this extension is so helpful. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm looking for a luxury hybrid SUV in 2024. I find this YouTube video called The 5 Best Luxury Hybrid SUVs in 2024. So this video is about 14 minutes long. I have to listen to the video for 14 minutes to find out what cars are involved. Now, if you look at the description, there's some teasing stuff there, but they don't give the plot away. So they want me and are going to force me to watch this video. Let me show you how Chat GPT can help you using this app. It's really cool. Now, after you've installed the extension on your Chrome browser, if you come up to my Chrome browser on the top here, this icon here is the icon for the extension. If you click this, you'll come into this user settings. Coming down here, we're going to be using the Chat GPT 3.5 model, which is free. I don't pay for Chat GPT. If you bring the drop-down menu here, you can change this to, if you're using a paid version, not a problem. The other thing is that when we come down here, the prompt for summary, you'll see that it summarizes into 5 bullet points. We can change it here and make 4, 3, 2, or how many bullet points you want this summarized into. Or you can put any prompt you want in here. If you have any prompt that you think will work better for you, put it in here and it will work. Now, the only other thing I'm going to draw your attention to, let's come down to here, and you'll see summary icon on web pages. By default, this is hidden I want you to make it visible, and then it will summarize. You'll see there's a button on there, and we can summarize any web page. You could keep it hidden if you want. You can also set keyboard shortcuts to turn this on and off. Now, this is the video we want to watch, the 5 best luxury hybrid SUVs in 2024. What you may not know is that all YouTube videos have transcripts created. Yes, YouTube takes all that information and makes a transcript. The transcript is available without using this app. This has nothing to do with the app, but once you install the app, you'll see a little menu at the top here that talks about transcript and summary, and this is coming from your new app. Now, if you click this button, it'll just bring up the transcript, but you'll see the Chat GPT button here. Let's see what happens when we click this button. This takes us right into Chat GPT. It loads all the information. This is the transcription, and it comes down here, and of course it's summarizing this for us, and we're going to see what cars are actually in this video and if we're interested. So as it comes up here, you'll see that the cars here, the top 5 cars, the Lexus Hybrid, the Alfa Romeo, the Lexus RX Hybrid, so on and so forth. And we see the cars that are actually in this video, none of which I'm interested, so I'm not going to watch the video. But this is all how you quickly can find out the information in the video. So this is a news article about the Galaxy 24 watch. It's from Google News. It's a long article. I want it summarized to give me the 5 points, the same as in the video. Now you will see that on the bottom right-hand corner, the Chat GPT icon from the app here. This is why I wanted you to turn it on in settings. We're going to click this. Again, it puts us right into Chat GPT. It summarizes the article for us as we come down here, and it gives us the 5 important points. So I use this extension in 3 ways. The first I showed you is to summarize videos that I might be interested in. The second is to summarize articles that I read in the news service. But the third way I use it is in my own videos. After I create a video, I use this extension to create a summary, which I use in the description of my video. It saves me so much time in writing those descriptions. Give it a try. This is a great free extension that I think you'll really enjoy. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Have a great day. All right, there we go. So I guess it is just about time for Ray. We are going to say goodbye to everyone over on our YouTube feed. If you don't forget, if you are over there and you have to take off, we have our premiere video coming up. We'll have Mike Ungerman is going to talk about EV batteries. Huey's going to talk about how to master Chat GPT. And he also is going to talk about his famous video that he made about finding anything using everything. And if you don't use that app, you should, because everyone that uses it says they use it every day and it's their right hand. They need it all the time. So please, please, please have a look at that. I think you'll really be impressed with that. So thank you, Huey, for doing that today. And we don't forget, oh, and also don't forget about our Thursday show. It is, if you haven't watched us, we do have a lot of fun. We go over all the news of the week, and we never get to all the articles. And you can follow the articles along on our Facebook page if you are interested. We add those articles all through the week. And so if you're interested in just watching tech articles and you want to get rid of all the, you don't want to go through all the gaming stuff and all that, because we just tease that all out and put the ones we're interested in on our Facebook page, and you can follow us along and look at those articles. All right, Ray, I'm just going to turn off our live stream. Take it away.
Ron, yeah, Ron, ready to go, but I just want to thank you. That was a really interesting video presentation, rather, on summarizing. I like that a lot. I'm going to look into that for sure.
Yeah, and the video is published now, so if you want to go back and look at it, it's on our site, and you can go back and look at it. It's great. I mean, there are many such apps or extensions out there. This is just one of many. But I like it. I've been using it now for a very long time, and I use it every day.
Nope, I can see how it saves time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go with today's music. The Shangri-Las, a 1960s girl group at their best. The Shangri-Las, believe it or not, was named after a restaurant in their home community of Queens, New York. Consisted of two pairs of sisters, lead singer Mary Weiss and her sister Betty, along with Marge and Mary Ann Ganser, who were identical twins. They met in school as teenagers. In fact, Mary was only 15 years old when their first hit, remember, Walking in the Sand, was a top 5 hit in 1964. Rumor has it that a young Billy Joel, a session musician at the time, played piano on the demo recording of this song. Now, you'll see many photos and videos of the Shangri-Las as a trio, and that is because in their heyday in 1964, Betty Weiss temporarily left the group. At different times, other members also left on a temporary basis. Some have noted that their tough girl image set them apart from other female groups of the day, but I would point out that the Ronettes had a similar persona. Now, legal disputes involving the contracts they signed as teenagers and related to unpaid royalties led to their disbanding in 1968. Fast forward to 1989, and the group once again had legal issues with another female vocal group using the Shangri-Las name to perform. In my opinion, this legal battle was a catalyst, one of several, for the Truth in Music Advertising Act, spearheaded by John Bauman, who is Bowser of Sha Na Na. That this act mandates the name of a famous musical group cannot be used unless they own the name or they include at least one member of the original group. Sadly, Mary Weiss died on January 19th, 2024, at the age of 75. Her sister Betty is the last living member of the group. Now, I chose today's video clip because it features all 4 original members and it is a live performance. In other words, not lip synced. Shangri-Las.
That's a blast from the past, eh?
A little bit. Aren't all mine?
Amazing. Well done, Ray. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me just a sec. All right. It is, we got 4 minutes left. We actually finished a bit early today after
Yeah, you were so worried
after
about
starting
this.
so early. So let me just introduce our staff and everybody while we're here. We might as well do that now since I see that Chris and Jim Gould are here today. Welcome. Do you have, I guess you're going to have a session for us next week? I still don't have stacks, Chris. What's going on? Can you put a note into Google to get me stacks? You can't talk. They have no audio, technical problems.
Have you got the link for the premiere in the chat?
It was in twice.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah, but I was driving to the dentist's office during what times you put it in.
It's there, Murray.
I don't have stacks either.
You don't?
No. She thought I did. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought you did.
She hallucinates. It's like one of those AI.
But I love what I figured, maybe they don't like Canadians.
Yeah, right.
I'm not Canadian though.
And you said
They don't like us in New Mexico either, because I don't have it.
Yeah.
Really?
No, but
well, a lot of people, the rollout has gotten faster. A lot of people that didn't have it now do. I'm surprised to hear there's still so many.
She lies. She's not telling the truth. I mean, it's just bad.
If anyone has stacks, if you maybe put a note in the chat and let us know. If no one has it, then I guess it's a slow rollout, eh, Chris?
Well, and if you don't know what it is, in Google Photos, if you're looking at your library, you should see 3 little dots at the top of your main photos. And if you don't, then you don't have, there's a lot more to stacks, but if you don't see those 3 dots, then you don't have it.
And I don't have it.
There you go.
You see them there?
No.
All right. And all right, let's move on now. We're going to, of course, we have
good show today, though.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Hewie, you're on next week.
Yep.
Before we get to the Q&A, I just want to thank everyone for coming today. If you have to leave, don't forget, our premiere video starts in about half an hour. Please, please watch it and like and subscribe. That's a big help for our channel. If you don't, and if you've missed something or you want to watch this video again, you're saying, oh, I want to figure out that extension I used, or you want to see how Huey did that. Remember, this show is recorded and is edited and taped, and I have the final version out later today. It's also in our newsletter. Going to mention that again. And thank you again for our sponsors, the Glendora Seniors Computer Club. We have, of course, Geeks on Tour and the Central Florida Computer Society. See, I'm going to mention that a lot this year. You're going to get your money's worth, Chris. All right. And so let's get on with the questions. If anybody has any questions today, let's bring it up. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, offhand, this is mostly for James Glass, but it applies to everybody. And it's something I stumbled across a long time ago, forgot about mentioning it. But Jim's problem today at the beginning about getting Tech for Seniors again and a link to the website. If you type in your browser techforsenior.com, you get a GoDaddy ad to buy techforsenior.com. If you really want Tech for Seniors webpage, you must type in www.techforsenior.com, and then you get the proper webpage.
Tim, thanks a lot. I forgot to mention that. That's true. Thanks so much for mentioning that. Huey, any wise words of wisdom for us?
Yeah, I have a comment about one of the things that Ray mentioned, and that was the groups going out. I remember at one time there were 4 groups called the Drifters at the same time. And because I worked for a chain that had them, one of the groups singing at several of the different clubs around the country. And it wasn't the one that a lot of people were talking about at the time. So that was an issue. As long as that one member of the original group was there, they were all the Drifters.
Type in tech. In fact, I just typed it.
Interesting.
Same for the Temptations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many of the groups, the Drifters, the last surviving member was the bass, Bill Pinkney, and he actually only died within the last 10 years. But this was really so prominent in the 80s. We had Las Vegas and Atlantic City and all these groups appearing. There were sometimes in Las Vegas, there could be 3. The Coasters were another one. You could have 3 Coasters groups on the same night at different Las Vegas hotels performing. So this new law, which has been adopted by about 25 states, I think, takes it in the right direction.
Huey, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The question was on your presentation today. Now I don't use a lot of spreadsheets. I'm a real early. I don't use them very much at all. But I had a question. If you simply took that original list that you had of before you put it into Chat GPT, if you just took that list and copied that list, would it not automatically go into a spreadsheet?
Yes, you can have one column, but it would just be that. It wouldn't break out by name, so you couldn't sort it by the name and that sort of thing. You couldn't have separate columns. There are ways to do it. There are formulas to make that happen. I don't do it enough to remember what those formulas are, and it saves time by using the Chat GPT or whatever one of the chat programs or apps you use. It just saves the time of having to look up and try to figure out how to do it in a spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, Ray, is there an AI app that you can run with YouTube that will clean up the audio?
Good question. I'm not aware of one, and I would guess that probably not. I mean, you could download it on your own computer and then use Audacity as an example, as one program to clear up the audio. But to do it online, I don't think so. I think you have to download it to your computer first.
I'm surprised that there haven't been other people that have taken that video clip and corrected the audio on it. I mean, there's a lot of techie people out there that do that sort of thing. I'm surprised it wasn't done.
But then it's not authentic.
I guess you're right. I guess that's true. That's true. There you go. Jim, go ahead.
I'm a brand new iPhone user, and I'm interested in the accessibility features. I've been having a terrible time with the smallness of some of the icons on the screen. I have an i15 Pro, and last night I was trying to set my alarm clock, and I couldn't see which one of the various deals between stopwatch, timer, world clock, and what have you. I couldn't read them, couldn't see them. And I was wondering if anybody knows any way of increasing those type of command icons so that they're more visible.
Well, let me mention, Jim, that I don't own an iPhone, so I don't know. I can't answer your specific question. But on Android phones, there's a slew of what they are called launchers, and a launcher will change the way the icons appear. As an example, I use one on my Android phone that makes that phone with much larger icons, reminiscent of the old Windows phone, which I always loved. So you might want to see if Apple allows. They're very restrictive, but they might allow a launcher that'll change the size of those icons.
I'll ask them. I mean, it's just, I'll give you some advice, guys and gals. Don't lose your sight.
Jim, out of all the devices I've seen, the iPhone is probably the most adaptable for people with vision problems. There is truly, I would encourage you maybe to, I see SOC Computers is coming on next. Maybe they have some ideas for you, but probably do, because just if you typed in YouTube and you said vision impairment and iPhone, you are going to have a ton of videos, because I think that the iPhone is the most adaptable for people with vision problems. Let's move on. I think SOC Computers maybe has some advice for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this would be for Jim. If you go into your settings on the iPhone and then scroll down to display and brightness, and in that area, there's settings for text size, and if you want to turn on bold. And I'd try there first and see if that will help the visibility.
Yes, I have tried that. What I'm not talking about the text on the messages. I'm talking about the command icons, on the bottom of the screen, where it lists stuff. Like I said, with the clock application, it had, and Android has the same thing, the stopwatch, a timer, the alarm set, and it lists which one, so that you can pick what you want to use. And the app that I was using on the iPhone, it was so tiny, it was impossible to see. And even the clock, setting the clock, it was all gray and white. Vision wise, it was terrible. So you can see what I'm looking for. But thanks, Ron. I'll be YouTubing when we close up here today. Thank you.
The other thing is, just to remind everybody,
if I can jump in. There's another area a little bit further down called accessibility. And then under that, there's another area that says display and text size. And that has some more options from just the first one that I mentioned.
Okay, I'll be checking it out. Thank you.
The other thing, just to remind everyone, this, of course, there's a big football game coming up. And this is the week in which the most televisions are sold. It even beats Black Friday as the week up to Super Bowl. So if you are looking for a television and you want to upgrade, or you're looking to purchase, this is the week you want to do it, because there are a lot of sales on now. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to do a follow Hewie AI program. It was a YouTube program, which I assume is in the public, but yet in the sign up for it, it said it was only for members only, for the link that you provided in that Stug sign up.
I changed it. It's now open to anyone.
Okay.
They just have to contact me. In fact, I'm making up a questionnaire that I'm going to have everybody, even those that have already signed up, fill out. So I'll have some more information because I'm having some people sign up. I don't have any idea who they are.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see it again, and since you tipped me off that you could slow it down, I'll probably get 25% instead of 5%.
Yeah. I'll actually I've mentioned it on how to slow it down. Maybe I'll do a short clip on that.
Good, thank you.
All right, any more questions? Do we have any other questions about, if you haven't, now, did have a question about where our show was, what time it was, and so on and so forth on Thursday. It is important that everyone understands about the Thursday show. It's not a Zoom meeting. And we always have 2 or 3 people coming and hitting our Zoom link because I get notifications saying someone's in the waiting room, and they're always on Thursday morning doing that. Don't hit our Zoom meeting. It's not a Zoom meeting. And you just have to go to our YouTube channel and you'll see it come up. Now, the thing about it is on Thursday is you won't see the YouTube video until we actually start broadcasting, and that is, of course, at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You won't see anything like it's coming up or it's going to happen. It'll just come out on and just be there. So we have that. Kathleen, welcome.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I have a conflict with an exercise class, so I've been missing this.
I know. It's nice to see you here today.
Yes, likewise. I just wanted to point out you can do 1-800-MY-APPLE-COM and reach Apple, and you get free support for your purchase. And then there's also a place called macmost.com, MACMOST.com on YouTube, and they have decent videos. And I think probably Chris and Jim may have some as well on their side.
Thanks for that information. Lots of information about vision impairment and iPhones. It's a big topic.
But I've also found I don't have an iPhone, but I have an iPad, which is considerably larger, and I find it so easy to see things on it that, yeah, you can't use it as a phone. It's pretty big, but it might be a good companion for doing other things besides the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Windows allows me to use my phone right on my computer. Now, it happens to be for Android, but my phone is available using the big screen, my microphone, and the speaker, and I can actually use it just like a phone. That's part of Windows 11.
Go ahead, Carl.
What I wanted to say is that with the Galaxy 6 watch that I bought for my girlfriend, and I have one, we both tried out the phone app. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird talking to your wrist, you know, when you're walking around outside or whatever.
Okay, Dick Tracy.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, my moniker on is Geek Wireless, so it fits with me. But the thing is that it's a speakerphone, you know, so you have limitations with speaker phones quality and things. I can't imagine the speaker on that watch. Was it the sign of a pinhead or what?
When they initially brought out the Apple Watch, I don't know if you remember, but this was really interesting. When they brought out the Apple Watch, they had one of their employees on a surfboard in a lake. Do you remember that? And she was on a surfboard surfing on this lake, and they had an aerial view coming down over top of her, and she was talking. First of all, she was talking on her Apple Watch, and you couldn't hear any noise. It was perfectly clear, no wind or anything. And as they zoomed out, you could see she was on a surfboard surfing in this lake. And I thought it was pretty impressive video. Go ahead, Murray.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that very often I will answer the phone, my iPhone on my Mac, I can use Mac. I don't have to, and then I can use it like a conference call because my wife can be in the same room and we can just be sitting there and we can phone anybody that we want to, that we could phone with the phone. We can do it right from the Mac.
Yes, lots
I'm
of.
just waiting for my iPhone to get repaired so that I can actually use it. It's the second one I've gotten.
One of the things I found is that when we were both on our Galaxy watches, that there's a delay because obviously you're processing over a Bluetooth in both directions in addition to the network. So it's very easy to step on each other. But if you do it with just one watch to the network, it's fine.
All right. I think that's all the questions. Huey, do you have any final comments before we go?
No, I think it was a good show.
Right.
All kinds of topics from Macs to AI to Windows and phones and watches. And it was a lot of fun today.
A lot of fun. And it's going to be more fun next week, right?
Absolutely, because I'm going to be in your seat. You're going to be in my seat.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Thanks again for coming. We do appreciate you coming and listening to us. Don't forget our Thursday show, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great week. Bye now.
Bye all.
Great show. Thank you.